All right, friends, time for round 2. Let's see if we can get this thing to run today. And we're gonna start right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man, 1365 of Sadness from Ohio, where somebody decided they wanted to partner out and make their $50 and then destroy something they could have got $500 for instead. So last time we dug through the parts pile, we found our new filter assembly. I gotta hold you just right so you don't get in the sun. So I didn't have any filters or anything, but today I do. So today we can now get to work, you know. And I'm taking it all in, you know, looking at what I got here. I thought sure there was a flat washer supposed to be on top of there, but that is neither here nor there, I guess. I did check the tank and it's got diesel fuel in it. So, and the diesel fuel was good looking, we saw from the other places we were, so I got no problem with going again, you know, with what we got there. Trying to decide how to, once again, where to stick you, because there's a lot of aluminum pieces here. And I guess you're going to end up back there again. Let's see what we can come up with here. Is the rubber up there still? No. Good. Let's get this one off while we're thinking about it too then. And actually, look at that one we took off of here. The one bolt might be better. It might be better off that one than off of what we got here. Actually, I don't even know what I did with this stuff. The other bolt. Huh. Yeah, there's our little washer. Oh, Dumbbell bent that bolt when he was hammering it off of there. And now I just threw it to the ground and lost it. There it is. Yeah, that sucks. When he was destroying stuff, he bent both bolts. So that was the big Knudsen. That kind of forces us to play nice with our what we got here. We need to do a good job. I guess I didn't do a good job on that one the other day, our good 1365, because I noticed in the shed it's sitting there leaking. So that ain't no good for nobody. I think we need to go in the truck and get a can of the old Magician's Helper here, because we're going to need some brake clean to clean up the nasties, I think, before we put stuff back together. I can't bring myself to do the thing there. Ooh, this one though, we're going to save that old one. The old one we took off of here has a metal drain valve, and that would be super handy instead of these stupid plastic ones that break all the time. Let me get up and get some brake clean and whatnot. All right, we're gonna struggle bus it, because what else? Why would we not do that thing? Also, you'll realize I'm sitting totally on the ground now, because that's the way life goes, you know. I was hoping to break up some of this nasty, discolory, varnishy looking old diesel fuel in this bottom of this cup. Just in case this thing would end up to be something that we want to save. That actually is working much better than I anticipated it would. You see how nice that is becoming? I think a few more applications might actually get it. All right, we don't have to be super duper clean. We probably aren't going to the county fair in the filter cleaning contest, so I should have brought a wire wheel for my little cordless drill. I could have probably got these super nice, but we don't need to do super nice. Got a lot of trouble here lately in town with people not wanting to keep very many of these on hand, and that's quite frustrating for me because I kind of go through some of them, you know. Part of it is because you always have to use them in pairs, you know. I don't think this is going to go much better for me than the last one I did. Let's put this up. Yeah, see, that's rolled. That ain't going to work. Can't have a rolled gasket. Get in there. Oh, that's part of the reason why I'm on the ground, so I can see what's happening. That ain't gonna work. Try again. Try again. There we go. Let's see if we can make this go. Ooh, what's that? Hitting. There we go. Hopefully, this does the thing for us. But we essentially, let's put the pretty side out. We essentially got it. Wow. Look at that nasty, sludgy, browny, discolory, diesel fuely, varnishy. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. We're getting it. It's probably good enough for who it's for, but I'd like it to be nice and pretty and red when we're done. Red is in from the diesel fuel, not from the blood from where I cut myself inevitably here anytime and ran a screwdriver through my hand and have to take a break and go to the hospital till tomorrow. It's only a matter of time, friends. We haven't been seriously injured in days. Oh, that's much more pretty. It's not perfect, but it's much more pretty. All right, get our other filter. Get our other bag of tricks here. Try not to drop it and lose the O-rings, because that little O-ring's hard to find if you drop it in the grass, which is what I'm about to do. No. This one is much more better clean than the last one was. This bolt setup, I'm saying. Sometimes I'm not very clear on what I'm talking about, but you'll understand. Or you won't. Either way, it doesn't really affect me. Come on. Oh my goodness gracious. Now, we're going to start that problem. See, this is why this is not much fun. There's surely not one in there, no, or a piece of one. Just a minute, Fatso. Let's get our legs crossed Native American style here, so we can really think about what we've done. Oh. Sometimes I wonder if it would be better to buy the... Well, actually, the dealer filters from AGCO on these aren't that outrageous in price. But you figure every Massey Ferguson ever used these, so that's probably why. It's almost time to break out the Italian animal sounds. We aren't having a good time here, friends. You wouldn't think it makes a difference, but having that one little, having the other filter out of the way where you can, I don't know, it just does things to you. Come on. Are you seriously gonna roll? You better not. Get up in there. This is kind of a trick, to be patient and get it all, everything the way it needs to be. And actually, as I look at that, yeah, that's right, I think, isn't it? Or did the glass one go on the back one? No, I think that's right, isn't it? Yeah, because it comes in here, so you want water separation immediately, and then from there is where you want to go. Never mind, I'm talking to myself, you know. Is this the one? Let's get this straightened up. Oh, friends. It's gonna make us... No, that's not right. That's loosening. We want tightening. All right, there we are. We have two filters hooked up, which means now, let's check, make sure that valve's open. I should be able to prime this fuel system now by simply opening this bleeder, getting soaked with diesel fuel, and living life. Now, let's start pumping and see what happens. With any luck, there it comes into the first filter. Maybe I should have you where you can see. There it goes. Takes a little bit of pumping. That's okay. But eventually it should start just spraying out of that little thing and get all over your lens. And then I'll have to take 15 minutes to clean that off. It's going though. Like I said, it was beautiful, clean diesel fuel. Oh. Friends, it came out of the overflow tube here. And since this is a different one, this should be a good tube off of one of our parts collection things. So maybe we can get a Phillips head and loosen that and put it right back on. I brought some more stuff. But if I don't have to use it, if I can just use what's here, that'd save me that much more headache. It's gonna pour fuel out here if it does run because that broke off, but that's okay. We probably won't run it that long. It'll probably start knocking. Could I put you more in the way? I don't know. Because you're pretty in the way right now. That's loose, that ought to go. Let's maybe put you over there. I might have to change fuel anyway. That's for later. Don't pay no mind to that step bit. Come on. Come on. Okay, you're almost there. Come on, you're escaping. Let's go. All right. Let's see if we can get that one to open up. If nothing else, it'll keep the tank cleaner when it sits in the rotting parts pile somewhere. It'll keep it nicer if it's hooked up. Now we're gonna do this. We're gonna have to make a hose because this one ain't long enough. Come on, baby. Really takes two screwdrivers, one to hold the clamp apart and another one to turn the screw. Not my favorite clamp design. I'm really putting too much effort into this clamp. Never underestimate the power of someone who doesn't want to stop and go get the correct tools. Okay, bye-bye. We're giving up on that. Let's just jam this on here. If it leaks, it leaks. At least it'll kind of slow it down a little, maybe. That's not gonna fit. That's why I grabbed this one, dummy. Like I said, these were probably all attached just the other day, but then whenever Gomer Pyle decided to part her out in a violent fashion, it got unplugged. connected. These dollar scissors are pretty amazing. If you've never owned a pair, I love them. They do all kinds of stuff they're not meant to do. I question how good this fuel pump is. It's acting similarly goofy like that one did on the other tractor. So that could be part of our trouble too. Although it was my understanding that it didn't die, he shut it down. Now the other day, it seemed like this injection line was leaking. So I don't know, let's see what we get. What do we gotta have here? Well, we gotta have the Fard Pounder's secret sauce. We gotta have the jump pack, which is freshly charged. We gotta have a screwdriver to play starter. You're at 19%, so I'm gonna say that it'll start whenever the battery exactly runs out. That's how life works. It'll be right on the verge of running, and then when it's ready, the camera will die. Let's put you there, and we'll give it some secret sauce. Well, that ain't very good, is it? Pretty slow, friends. Pretty slow. And that's not good. I hear it running back through the return. It's making the circuit. Yeah, see, this is acting just about like that one the other day. Let's try this upper bleeder. Something bizarre is going on here, though. Well, that's it. Let's loosen all the injector lines. See if we're getting any fuel up that far. I don't think we are, and we're probably not spinning it fast enough. Let's see what we get now. Now we got fuel to injectors. So, with any luck, the next go round now it's going to pop to life. At least I hope so. I really should have you in a more glorious position so you could see it if it does take off and run. But I don't know. But basically what I did is I loosened all the injectors, all the injection lines, and now I've got fuel coming out. So there's no reason why this shouldn't just go, other than the fact that it's a pile of garbage, you know. There is that instance too. Here we go. Nothing. Let's let the jump pack sit a minute. And Ross has one more trick up his sleeve. It's inappropriate, but he's probably going to do it anyway. Nope. Nothing yet. I have a feeling it would be easier to start if the tank was full of fuel. I think that's part of my problem. The level of the tank is low enough that might be causing us fits. I don't know. Ooh. Should probably let everything cool off for a while. Well, Knudsen. These things are super hard to start when they've sat with air in the system. But it's silly that it won't even fire today. I thought the other day it tried to fire a time or two, and we got fuel up to our injectors, so it ought to run. But I guess the next thing a guy should do or could do is to get more diesel fuel and pour in it, which is silly to pour in a tractor that may never run. But to put more diesel fuel in it so we raise the level so that it's... Then also, probably putting those wheels on and making it sit level would help it. And then, short of that, we put the wheels on. If we have to pull it, we could pull it. Even if we only use a couple lug studs, I think 2 of them would probably do it. I don't know. I just get the feeling there's probably air in it a little bit. Although with fuel at the injectors, it ought to run, so who knows? Oh, boys. I don't know why I expected different results, but, you know, that starter wouldn't start that 1250A, so I don't know why I thought it would start this. Also, I said we were going to rig up a battery, because a lot of times you got to have both, and I didn't do that either. So, you know, I'm not thinking too clearly. But maybe we can make this happen if we get some jumper cables. I'm also trying to decide when I'm going to put the wheels on. If we want to take a break and do that now, that might be what we do. All right, so some preliminary testing here. I have determined that these wheels will fit on here as soon as we enlarge a hole or 2 or 3, probably 3. I got enough to do 3 in each one at least. But they have to be put on, dished this way, because if you put them on the other way, the valve stem will hit the final drive there and rip it off. And that would not be a fun time. So, I listened to your advice, and we're going to try hole saw, or not hole saw, step drill bit. We'll see what happens. We'll keep one here. If this loader gives away, it will kill us, but that's okay. We've lived our life. Let's just pick one and go. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ouch. Well, that works good, except for the fact that it sends razor hot shards immediately back to your hand. But that worked good. Also, I can tell that this is going down the longer that we... Let's see if we can get by with 4. Buddy the dog is behind us. He doesn't concern himself with things like safety. Can we peer pressure this into jumping on there again? Or did it go too much? I think it sagged too much. See, what sucks about that is it's exactly where it needs to be. And I'm gonna lose that progress, I'm afraid, if I do anything stupid. Yep, as I predicted. I guess I went up too high. There. Come on. I can just get one started. The rest will follow. Come on. Probably be good if a guy had brought an impact or something, but definitely didn't do that. Probably should also get the brake cleaned. Clean out that bottom hole. Oh, nasties. They must have mowed the grass around it since they parted it out. We'll get the impact later. Right now, let's just worry about getting it on all 4s. I'm hoping that weighted enough that, yeah, that it'll do that number there. What do we got left? 1, 2, 3, 4. See if that was enough. No, it wasn't on any of them. I didn't do a very good job. guess we got to lift you up more. Of course, we missed them exactly 100%. We're in the off pattern here. Come on. That sucks. There. That was tricky. Uh-oh. I smell antifreeze. Why for do I smell antifreeze? Oh no. It's leaking up there. You. That sucks. Top tank. Looks kind of like. More to fix. We'll tackle that when we pull the engine to change that hydropower. This should be loose. That hopped her up. It's a little bit downhill now, but it's on 4 wheels again. Now, if only it would run, you know? But it has more of a chance of, we just gotta do the things. We'll tighten the bolts on the wheels. And we might see if we can get somebody to pull us. Maybe we can get it to run. But it's close. I mean, it's close to finding out that the block's junk. I just feel like the way it was sitting, it was probably letting air in the pump. I don't think the pump should be the highest point, you know? So now we might have a chance. Well, friends, I hate to throw in the towel a second time, but it doesn't look like today's going to be the day it runs either. It just doesn't quite want to get with it. And so I would say that I'm going to just have to wait till somebody can help me, and we will try to pull it and see if we can get it to start. I know it's going to knock and carry on and whatever because stuff and things. Right now that whole apparatus is forward, so I don't know, it's more than a guy can push by hand back and forth, but I don't know. It's up on 4 wheels, kind of. The front ones aren't really doing the thing. Maybe that tire would air up, I don't know. Might be an interesting thing to try, but there she sits. I mean, slightly better than it was last time, but still foolishness, you know? But like I said, we only have $200 in it, so we can have a little bit of fun, you know? We'll just keep on and see if we can, you know, make it happen. I don't know, maybe it'll run. Maybe it'll be something we can fix, you know? Maybe it needs a head job, and that would tune it right up, but it's gonna need thrust bearing in the motor because of the amount of play that it's got. Somebody asked about that why, you know, why are you saying that, or why is that the case? It's because of improper use of the PTO clutch, friends. Your clutch is a 2-stage clutch, but instead of it all being in the foot pedal like the smaller tractor, this does the ground drive portion, and this is your PTO clutch. You're supposed to do that, shift it into gear, and then put this down and run. And then when you're done, you put this up, you put it in neutral again, you push this down, and then live your happy life. But instead, what guys did, they got the power takeoff engaged, and when they're done, they ran with it like this all day long, every day. And the whole time, it was putting constant pressure forward on everything. And what that did over time is it started to eat the thrust bearing out of the engine. And so now you've got slop in there, and that's what kills most of them. Maybe this one isn't bad enough yet. Maybe it didn't get into the block very much, you know. Maybe a guy could roll a new bearing in and go. I don't know, but that seems kind of doubtful. Probably this would need a complete engine overhaul if you were going to do much of anything with it. But as far as, you know, we're not in it for a lot yet, and I still have a lot more parts to go. So I'd like to just hear it run to assess where we are, and then I'll probably just stack all the parts on it and park it in the corner somewhere, and we'll deal with it later. It's going to take a lot of parts from that other parts tractor too. Both spindles are homemade. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but somebody has totally chopped this one off and put their own thing on, which is absurd. And then, did they do it to that side too? I think they did, because they both look inappropriate, you know. The arms are not right. So, I don't know exactly what we got going on there, but we got something going on there. So if I put it back, what I would do is pull both halves of the axle out, or maybe just take the whole front off and swap it for the other front, so that you had the stuff that it's supposed to be. Because right now, that's not what we got. But I'm sure people had their reasons. They probably had a wagon that was handy, and they cut it up and made tractor front axle. But yeah, I guess we'll leave this one here. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.